Okay, recap. Union player made a successful assault on this hex. According to the rules, the CSA player must make an involuntary retreat, which will move them back 2 spaces, and the brigade will take 10 points of disorganization. Or the CSA can decide that they want to make a defensive assault, which means this counter moves back, and this counter moves forward to indicate that a defender's assault is going to be made. Next step for the defender is he's got to reorganize his line. He decides to lose his flank in strength. So the 4 will become a 3. And 7 will have full strength of 8. When defender makes a defense assault, it is the same procedure as an assault by the attacker. So I'll grab my pad and we'll calculate the base assault strength of both US and CS forces. And we'll start with the US. The HQ is 3. The marker is 8. That marker is 8. And these flanks have the strength of 2. Just add those all up. Let's see here, 8 times 2 is 16, plus HQ is 3, which gives a total of 19, plus add 4, gives a strength of 23. For the Union player, just for eye candy, I'll put down 23 right here. And I'll take my marker and write base, assault, strength, points. There we go. Now it's time to add up the CS. We've got HQ, which is 3. We've got 8. 8. And we got 1 for the flank, and we got 3 for the flank. Add them up together. 23. it's 23 to 23 to the base assault strength. And what I'll do is I will put a red peg showing the Confederates, and I will put a blue peg to show the Union. Now, the next thing to do is check the experience level of the HQ brigade commanders. Now, the battle's still fresh, so we'll take the current experience level chart and we'll do the Union first. The Union, of course, is, at this time, red 21, which means seasoned. And we go to red 21, and then we look at disorganization level. At this time, they're still at 0-1 in disorganization. So we cross-index, and we got 10 extra points, strength points, for the Union forces. Gives a total of 33. So we change this to 33 for the Union. Now we look at the CSA. We got 12 black, which is experience. We go to the chart. We find black experience. They too are at 0-1. It's still fresh from battle on disorganization. So we cross-index 0-1 to 9 is what we get. So we add 9 to the base assault strength. And they get 32. So I will change this to 32 for their base assault strength. Now, it is the defender assaulting the Union forces. Therefore, I have to subtract 32 from 33, not 33 from 32. Which gives us a difference of -1. See if I can put that. I'll just bring it back just a little bit. difference is -1. Alright. I then take the combat assault table, assault strength difference. And by golly, there's -1 right there. Next thing I need to do is roll the die. So I roll the die. I get a 1. I then take the die roll of 1. I go to -1. This defense strength assault is successful. So I then go to the casualties table. Alright. Strength defense is -1. I then add the die modification. So -1. Let's see. Die modification is -2. So that brings us to -1, 0. Excuse me. -1, -2. My math is horrible. Hang on a second. It's off the chart. It comes as 0. So what do? I go to the casualties table on 0. So let's go over that again. Strength difference was -1. Die modification -2, which goes to 0. And I got 0.05. I then take 0.05 and I multiply 0.05 by the defending brigade's current strength to determine the number of casualty points. Now the defending brigade current strength is 32. So I multiply 32 by 0.05, and it's 10, 5 is 15, 16. Okay. Let's roll in the decimal point, and I come up with 1.6 of casualties. So that's 1 tick mark and 1 full attack point of casualty, and then 6 tick marks for the Union player. Alright, so the CSA won the assault, defense assault. Now, the rules say that if the attacker successfully assaults, the defender must retreat, and that's what's going to happen. And as we talk about voluntary and involuntary retreats, the CSA wants to stay here, so it is an involuntary retreat, but they assaulted. They did not want the 10-point disorganization penalty. Therefore, the CSA, because they won their assault, only backs up 1 hex without penalty. The Union player moves forward. What that'll create is a hex line that divides between them. So let's recover retreat. In involuntary retreat, if the defender has to back out, it's an involuntary retreat, he backs out 2 spaces and he takes 10 disorganization. If he decides to fight with the defender's assault, he wins, he will back out 1 hex without penalty. If he lost the assault, he would have to back out 2 hexes and take the 10 disorganization penalty. In the next turn, the Union player can do an advance combat fire or advance movement. Of course, he can move into, on his next turn, and the battle begins all over again. Of course, if the defending player does not want to fight anymore, he can back out 1 without penalty. Or as I was, forgive me. He can back out 2 with penalty. And it goes on and on. Reason being is that the CS player is within the range of influence of the Union player. And every time the Union player gets further or creates an involuntary retreat, the CS player has to back out again. 2 more hexes and take another 10-point disorganization. So voluntary retreat is a heck of a lot better than involuntary retreat. That pretty much covers assault and defense assault, as well as an introduction of retreating. Next video is going to be a short one. It's going to be about tick marks and how to record them on your stat sheet, and how not to get confused and how to manage it. Keep gaming.